actually today still, the Zulus in South Africa, still today, they are very, very extremely superstitious. Now, he had this habit of spitting on the ground, and he said, while we signed this peace treaty, if I spit on the ground, they're going to put the evil spirit on me. So he got this little boy, had to hold his hand, and when he spit, the boy had to spit in his hand, but he's not allowed to let it fall on the ground. So he said, you've got to wipe it on your body. But can you imagine, this little boy must have thought, I'm sitting next to the king. That must, he really didn't worry about wiping it on his body. He was just glad he could sit next to the king. But the Gaan was a very extremely superstitious, but also extremely cruel man. You will see now when I explain to you. So they signed it here, and when Piet Retief said, okay, I want to go and fetch my people at Blaukrans to come to the ground that you've given us, the Gaan said, no, hang on, we're first going to have a party here quickly. And just about 10 minutes, and there was a terrible noise there. And he asked, what is that? And you remember the woman and child? And I said to you, there's the two black wildebeers there, and it was one of the names that he called these people. The Gaan said, my black wildebeest is coming to kill you. And he gave his people instructions, kill the Gaan's people, but the Gaan must look on to see how his people and his son is killed in front of him. Now we could just move on a little bit here. This is the crown of the Gaan. Very, your tongue-tied name, it's called Umkumkungluvu. They took them up to a little hill there called Murder Hill. They tied up Piet Retief. They stick a stick in him so that he can look on how his son and his people are killed in front of him. And in this case, they did not kill them with spears, they killed them with sticks and stones. And after they had killed them, they tied Piet Retief there and they pulled him back here. And it took him 3 days to die. He bled himself to death. And then they said, go and kill the rest of the Voortrekkers. Now this was mainly women and children. They killed over 500 women and children over here. You can see even the babies and things on a very, very cruel way. I'm not going to tell you how they did it. All I can say is actually a very, very cruel way that they killed them. But anyway, as I said, remember these panels went to Italy. There were traders from Italy, one side, and they saw what was going on. And this lady is an Italian lady, got on her horse. Her name is Teresa Viglione, and she went and she warned the Voortrekkers there at Blaukrans and said, what is happening here? So if it wasn't for this brave lady getting on her horse and going to warn the rest of the Voortrekkers, all the Voortrekkers would have been killed. So very brave lady. This is another scene of a boy. He's only 14 years old. Dirkie Eis is his name. And they were actually led into an ambush at a place called Italia. And when he looked around, he saw his father lying on the ground. And I think that's normal for us. If we see one of our loved ones in danger, we don't think of consequences. We will just go in and want to help. I think that is actually normal for every one of us to do it. And not thinking, he's only 14 years old and all the Zulus, so both of them were killed. Now, what happened to this little boy is they could never find not one piece of clothing, nothing. They don't know what happened to this boy. They found the father, but they could not find anything about the boy. They don't know what happened to him. So we don't know what they did to him or whatever. So